I was being incredibly sarcastic to open the show. It's called a joke. Look it up. You drive me crazy. Foles didn't beat Brady. I didn't say he did. All I said is he doesn't have to beat Brady. He's just got to do what he's done the last couple weeks. Selective listening at his finest. Mike, I know nothing about football, but I listened to you say Philly. I bet a coworker $10 and won. Oh, I'm here for you. You still suck at the over-under. That's why I said I don't have an opinion. Was there a bet in which Collinsworth would second deck Brady? Mike, you helped me lose my kid's college fund. Thank you. I bet against you. Jesus, big props, Mike. However, can you use the same energy when he's wrong, all caps, when he just knew Sparty was going to blow Michigan out? Well, I thought we did. I mean, I talked about it. I hammered my own team. Guys, do better. Can I just crumple these up and just say hashtag do better? They're very weak. Very weak. Come on. Be better than that. Now, let's get into what really matters. First of all, I thought that was one of the best Super Bowls I've ever seen. And I understand a lot of people are going to say it was void of defense. That's not the kind of game I want to watch. That's your prerogative. The Super Bowl, to me, is about entertainment. And we've been let down so many times. I'm not going to be upset because it wasn't the purest brand of football. No, I don't think having, over 1,000 yards of total offense, about 1,150 to be specific, is the truest form of football. But you know what? It was entertaining. It was dramatic. And there were big moments. And I think that's all we can ask for out of a Super Bowl. Now, look, I thought the biggest thing, and going into the game, we talked about this, even though Philadelphia didn't get stops necessarily, even though Philadelphia ended up giving up 500 yards passing, a couple of things really, really jumped out, and I still think proved very, very telling. And it was their front four got to Brady early and often. And no, it's not always going to result in sacks. And no, you're going to get tired. You're going to go through lulls. But Brady, let's remember, at one point in this game was 12 of 24, was missing some open people. And I think you could trace it back to the constant harassment and hits that were levied against him in the first half of that game. That's a win for Philly. Offensive side of the ball, I said it, Philly's better up front than the Patriots, and they proved it. I mean, Philadelphia was able to not only effectively protect Nick Foles, they were able to rush for north of 150 yards, break off a couple of splash plays, get the critical short yardage situations, and that allowed them to then effectively play action, take a few shots. You saw it on the Alshon Jeffrey touchdown. They did a really, really nice job. They won up front both ways. Now, I know, and it kills me. I'm not reading anything into Matt Patricia as it pertains to the Lions. If you're looking for that, you can listen to another radio show. I don't think there's anything you can draw out of it, and that's why it won't be a part of kind of breaking the game down. Now, look, New England, the biggest problem they had, the Eagles are just so talented across the board. And if you have a quarterback that is able to simply distribute the football, the Eagles showed you all year they were very difficult to stop, whether it's Carson Wentz or Nick Foles. Now, Foles isn't going to run like Wentz and maybe won't put up as splashy numbers week in, week out. But Nick Foles, very similar, certainly a different era of football. Certainly the offenses are different. The numbers look different. But it's in many ways what happened with the Giants in 1990 when they lost Phil Simms in like week 12 and Jeff Hostetler took over. And Hostetler was able to confidently do what was asked of him. Now, Nick Foles and certainly the NFL at large, this is a different sport compared to 1990. It is a passing league, and Foles has done more than Hostetler ever had to do. My point is, this routine is not unheard of. And you saw Foles and his team, once his teammates believed in him, that's when I started to really believe in Philly. And it was after that Atlanta game you could tell, and you go, okay, something's up here now. This game, I really look, I know the Malcolm Butler thing is out there. rumors about what may or may not have happened. Do I believe Belichick simply benched him because he thought Rowe was a better player? Probably not. But overall, in today's game, if you don't have a special defense, it's going to be very difficult to stop somebody. And in many weeks, it doesn't matter what you have, because if the other team has the weapons, like Nelson Aguilar, like Zach Ertz, like Alshon Jeffrey, like the running back tandem of Blount and Ajayi, and an offensive line that is able to control the line of scrimmage, you're simply not going to be able to slow them down. And that's what happened last night. And ultimately, Philly's front four, no, second half, they didn't play a huge role, but they made the play. That's all it takes. I mean, it's a razor-thin margin between winning and losing a Super Bowl. And I thought Philly winning the battle up front all game kept them in a control position, kept them ahead. Certainly Doug Peterson needs to be commended for really ballsy play calls. Now, I hated going for too early. You know my thoughts on that. I'm very conventional in that regard. Don't chase points. You don't go for two until you have to go for two. I hated going for it. But he redeemed himself because I will tell you, the time, the situation, where the game was going, I think going for it on 4th and goal was the right move because he was telling his team right there, guys, you've played well, but it won't be enough if I kick this field goal. We must get 7, period. And that's the truth. In the NFL, field goals get you beat. The only time I ever want to see my kicker is to tie the game or win the game. And in this spot against that team, I think Peterson sent a message and said, hey, we have repped this play for weeks. We have the perfect play. I know you'll execute it. I know we haven't shown it on film, and they won't be ready for it. We're going to run this, and we're going to score. If it doesn't work, a lot of people would rip him for it. I wouldn't. I think this is a rare spot where bypassing the points made sense because I think Peterson felt the game slipping a little bit. They got out to a hot start, but it was obvious early this was going to be a track meet. I love the 4th down play call. I could never have picked up that play in a million years. They went to the back of the playbook. They found up something Peterson drew up when he played in the World Football League or in a schoolyard, and they ran it. And I think that galvanized Philly, and from that point, felt like they were going to get it done. Now, late game, yeah, sure, Patriots do what they do. They came back, take the lead, and you go, wow, can Nick Foles lead them down to get a field goal? And what you saw there was, A, Peterson never swayed. They had a 3rd and short. I would have preferred a running play. They went with a pass. Damn near lost half a yard, maybe a yard. Come back on 4th down, run their best pass play. Ertz, it's a great job. That's a 4th down where some coaches maybe punt it away. I think Peterson right there again backed his team. Guys, it's 4th and 1, 4th and 1.5. This is the New England Patriots. Our defense has played their ass off. They're exhausted. I don't care we're on our own half of the field. We're going for it. We have the right play called. I know you'll execute it. We're going for it. I just thought Peterson was able to inject confidence into an already talented team, and that's why the moment wasn't too big for them. And I think it played a role in why it was just a virtuoso performance late by Foles and company to take 7 minutes off the clock and to get down the field and do what needs to be done. It was really, really theater. It was beautiful to watch. And as I said, in the second half, you're in a track meet. It only takes one defensive play, and Philly made it. And very appropriately, it was from a 4-man rush and a strip sack. So overall, look, went in feeling like Philadelphia had every right to win this game. I didn't view Philly as some crazy underdog. The Foles thing didn't matter to me because the recipe for them to win, it doesn't have to be Foles doing it by himself. Now, Foles, I thought he played outstanding football. The one interception, not really his fault. Alshon Jeffrey's got his hands on it. Jeffrey flips it up, little fluky on that end. Everything else, making the right reads, making some dangerous throws, but making them with unbelievable precision and just staying calm, having that huddle, having complete command of the moment, truly impressive stuff. And honestly, hell of a football game. But I'd love to get your thoughts on it, see what comes out of it for you. I will offer you this bold take that Sully refuses to allow to be called a hot take. We'll do that next. 248-539-9797.